Hey everybody, it's Tamika. I'm here to share with you a set of 10 tags that I made using this Die Cuts with a View DIY project stack called Tags. And this is what it looks like. I got it from Michael's. It was on 40% off for a while, so I picked up one of these and I decided to make some of the tags. They give you some ideas on the front, but I just wanted to play around with it. It's one of those no-brain crafts where you put everything in front of you and see what you can make, how much you can make out of it, how much you can use. So it was a pretty feasible paper pad. I think it was maybe $5. Yeah, because it was $10 and it was 40%. $5 or $6 is what I purchased it for. So let me share with you the tags that I created from the stack. I still have a lot of stuff left over that I could use for other things, but for the most part I used all of the big pieces. So let me share with you with the 10 tags that I made. Before I share the tags with you, let me show you what was left after I did the 10 that I did. So look at all that. Awesome stuff. Lots of stuff left over for you to play with. I really like that gold foil. Yeah, so you'll be able to make quite a few more, like maybe 5 or 6 more tags for sure, and then use these as extra little tidbits for your other projects. Alright, this is the first tag that I created. Super cute. Now I did not add anything extra, like no lace or anything like that to it, so feel free to take it to that extra step. Just wanted to show you the base of the tags that I used, and then I also used washi tape. I think that was it. I used a butterfly punch, washi tape, and then the tags pad. So that's all I used. Really easy, no brain craft. So that's the tags on the inside. I tried to pick the ones that would allow the recipient to write on the back. So really fun, and that just slips right in there. I love how dimensional it is. So you can either adhere this to a package, or you can punch another hole here and tie it to a package. Thought that was super cute. Okay, and then another one here. Very simple. All the stuff came in it besides the washi tape. And again, you can use hole reinforcers if you want, and tag and tie some string on there and use that on a gift. Super cute one. Look at that. Love it, love it, love it. I love how, I don't want to say messy, but I love that about some of these tags. Okay, that's the third tag. All right, here's the next one. Really cute. Love all of this stuff on here, and then this tag comes out. So you have that as your base, and then you have, just some stuff to play around with, and that just hangs right on top. Super cute. Here's another one. These were just, like I said, so easy. I don't think I have anything in here. Nope. You can slip something behind here in that pocket. This is just the front. Really cute. Here's another one. Love it. Super, super dimensional. Okay. Here's another one. Has a little acetate there, and this is a pocket. Okay, it slips in there like so. Really cute. And here's another one. I think this one's my favorite. I love the pink and gold with this turquoise. Super cute. Super cute. So you can always hang something up there. Here's another pink and gold option. The hole is up there where you can hang something from. And then the last one. Super cute. Love how they all turned out. So what I would like for you guys to do, if you're following along with this, is go ahead and, if you're going to do the same thing, grab the project stack and take out all the pieces. That's just like the best way. Instead of flipping through, the page 7, trying to go through all that, just cut out all the pieces. It'll take 5 minutes or so. put them off to the side, and we'll be ready to grab and go. Alright, so I'm going to do that with this one, and I'll be right back. Alright, some tools you want to have handy are a stapler. I'm using a Tim Holtz Tiny Attacher. I think I used that once or twice. And then a heart punch, if you have one. Butterfly punch, I'm using the Martha Stewart one. This one's from EK Success. Scissors, hot glue, or some adhesive tape. So let's go ahead and get started with the first tag. You'll want to pull out, and I've already pulled all of mine apart. They're sitting over here in this bucket. So you'll want to pull out the gold tag. So on the back are these turquoise colored base with white polka dots. So you'll want that one, and the back half is gold. Keep your scraps because we do use the scraps for some other parts of the tag. So if you can try to follow exactly, that way we can stretch it and it'll work out. I'm using some washi tape. You'll need the pockets with the polka dots. Just the front, that's the library pocket, not the envelope. You'll need this shape. It has flowers on it, rose colored. This is the back. You need this circle. You'll need this banner. On the back is one solid color of blue, I believe, and striped on the front. You'll need this acetate piece. I did not cut the acetate piece, all of them out. I'm just going to cut them out as I need them because there's not a whole lot that I use. But this one is the banner. It says, "Be happy, you're awesome." Lots of positive affirmation words on here. So cut that out. And then this banner tag that says, "I love you." Alright. So the first thing we're going to do is just quickly put our pocket together. And that is taking the top. We're going to see that facing. So I'm just going to fold this over. And in 3 spots. I should have grabbed my bone folder. Be okay. Okay. And then we're going to attach this to the bottom like so. So the back is not anything on. You don't want to attach it like that. It doesn't fit anyway, but you want all those tucked in so it could be a nice pocket. Okay, so I'm going to do that real quick with my hot glue gun. Okay, so that's attached. And then I'm going to add this "I love you" across the bottom. Now, if you want to, you can add some dimension, which is what I did on the original. You don't have to, but this looks a little more brought to life if you use dimension. I don't know. I'm just a dimensional type of girl. So, just going to grab some foam. And I think that's a little too wide. Cut it down a little bit. And add it to the back here. Easy peasy. So I'm going to clean up this acetate piece. Just cut around the gold edge. It's pretty easy to cut. Okay. And then I'm going to take my tag here and I'm going to cut this in half. Right at this folds up, or it folds, it has a fold. Cut it right at the fold mark. Save one of the pieces. So you're going to keep one piece. Alright, take your banner. Before I do that, I'm going to add the washi tape. So I'm not going to be klutzy. I'll flip this over to the gold part. And I'm just adding some washi tape. This looks almost exactly like that. So just making sure I get some good parts here. And then I'm just going to clean up the edges. Okay. So that's on the back. And then, well, on the front rather. And then take your striped banner and then take your acetate banner piece, and then we're going to staple that to the top of the gold tag. Now the way that I stapled it so that it can have a little bit of movement, take the whole apart, okay, layer the pieces just like that, just like the way you want them to go, and then I just flipped it over and then I put the staple in between it's going in the hole and on the edge. That way it moves around a little bit. See? Can you see? The staple is 1/2 in the hole and 1/2 outside the hole, so that, you know, that can just have a little bit more play. Otherwise, you know, do it how you want. Okay, and then we're going to take our heart and then our heart punch, using just the little corner down here. I'm going to punch out a little heart. Okay, and then we're going to pop that up on a dimensional on top of the other heart. So that's going to go here. I'm going to put this heart on top of here. Boom. And then on the back, I also added a little dimensional like this. And then I'm going to add this to that top of that acetate piece right here, not on the tag, so that it all moves in one motion. Isn't that cute? And if you want, if you don't like these little angles down at the bottom, you feel free to slice that off a little bit so you can have a more straighter tag. And then that just slides with the banner on the outside down like so. See? Super cute. Now that completes tag 1. Okay, for tag number 2, we'll be using this pocket. One side is pink, the other side has these gold affirmation words on them. You'll use this, one side is the gold and one side is this pink flower pattern. You'll use this shape with this turquoise with the gold cubes on it, sort of designs. And then the back is pink. The circle sentiment, you are loved. This turquoise flower. And then a gold acetate piece. I've already fussy cut that out. I didn't like fussy cutting that, so I only use these type of pieces once or twice. So you need the round, just the lace doily one. And then I'm using a little bit of washi tape. It's just gold polka dots. So putting the pocket together, we want to see these words side frontward. Sorry. I'm going to fold it so that we see the words at the top, like that, so that the pink at the bottom is showing. Okay, and then you want to go ahead and seal the sides with some hot glue or double-sided tape. Alright, now that that's done, this shape fits in here perfectly, or it should if you didn't glue everything down. Okay, so you want to take this shape and that's going to go in here, but first we're going to flip it upside down and we're going to cut a little banner in it at the bottom. Okay, go a little bit higher here. You just try to make it as cute as possible. So just a little banner. Okay, and then, or you can do it the other side and then cut across. That might have been easier. And then you're going to take one of these, cut them in half, this folded tag, cut it in half, and that's going to layer on top like that. So you just want to follow the same pattern, leaving a little bit of an edge like that. Okay, and then cut off the top, leaving a little bit of a border. Okay, and then you want to tape the back of this down. And where is the tape? I'm just going to use some double-sided tape, but I would have liked to have used my ATG tape for this. So you want to put the tape on the pink side, facing up. Okay, take it off and place it back on here. Yeah, it's probably better to do the banner from the opposite side and then just cut off the round points. I think that's what I did before, but it works. So that's going to go here, and then I'm going to add my little piece of washi tape strip down the side just to add a little bit of contrast to this tag. It's going to go just like that. And I'm just going to cut off the extra. Okay, and you can see the back here. You can't really write on it. So what I'm going to do is add a little piece of white cardstock to the back, just so the recipient will be able to write on it. If it's a gift tag, you want them to be able to write. So I'm going to add a little bit of this tape. And then I'm going to attach it to that white piece of cardstock. Okay, save this extra piece for later. We're going to use it. And this is what that looks like. And then there's the back. So you're able to write on it. And that just tucks right in here. And I can't get to it because my head's in the way. Alright, that goes in there. And then we're going to apply our acetate. It's going to sit right center. All I did was put like a bead of glue in the center of that doily piece and put it down. And then you want to add a little tape to the back of that sentiment that says "You are loved." I'm going to use this glossy accents to the back of this acetate. And then the last thing that I'm going to do is this flower. I'm just going to cut out. If you follow these little X's, it makes a little heart. So follow the score marks. And you're going to cut a little heart piece. You're going to cut out 2 pieces so you can make a heart, or 2 slits. And I'm just going to clean up the edges just a smidge. And then I'm going to fold that at that score mark, the turquoise side up, and then put that at the top. Save this piece. And then you have this tag. Alright, that makes tag number 2. Okay, for tag number 3, we're going to be using this shape. So, really cute. There's a couple of them in there, but this is the shape we're going to be using in the craft. And then we're going to use this banner. That's the polka dot gold star. And then this turquoise striped piece, pink on the back. The sentiment that says "Oh Happy Day." Use a little bit of shiny green washi tape. And then left over from tag 2 is this heart. Remember, we cut it out and use the turquoise. Well, we're going to cut it out and use the gold this time. Okay? That's why it's important to save your pieces. Alright, so I'm also going to be using one little piece of lightweight, this is cereal weight chipboard. Alright, so what we want to do is take your gold. I'm using this chipboard because I want it dimensional, but not as dimensional as my pop dots. They're super thick. So I'm just using this for just a little bit added height on the tag. So I'm going to layer this tag on top of this chipboard and cut it out. Alright, my tag is cut out. That's the chipboard that's on the back. Really easy. So I'm going to layer this striped pattern. I'm going to use some of this wet glue, and I'm going to layer it right dead center on the craft tag, just like that. Then I'm going to take my chipboard tag and I'm going to offset center that. That's how that's going to be. But before I do that, I'm going to add a little piece of my washi tape, kind of angle like that. And I can just roll that over since we're not going to see that. Like so. I'm going to add some hot glue to the back of this tag. And just center it like so. Okay, I'm going to add some dimensional to the back of this "Oh Happy Day." Some foam tape. going to sit center like so. We're going to cut another heart out and using the gold piece, but let's clear up these little pointy edges and add some hot glue to the back. On the turquoise side this time, put that at the corner, and I'm going to take my hole punch and punch a little circle right in the center so that that can officially be a tag. And this completes tag number 3. Okay, for the next tag we're going to use this pattern envelope. On the back is white, just a flower black and white pattern. We're going to use this rosette with the gold, pink on one side. You're going to use the sentiment that says "For You." It's a banner. Cut out the heart acetate piece. It's this geometric design. And then the other half of the gold and flower tag that we just used on tag 3. A white piece of cardstock that's big enough to cover the back of that tag. And then I'm going to use washi tape with the gold polka dots again. So we're going to fold over our envelope with the floral pattern showing on the outside. And then we're going to apply some hot glue to close. Alright, so that's done. Okay, we're going to take this pattern or this tag, and then if you, whoa, if you want to clean up your edges, do so, and then add the white cardstock to the back to cover up this pink pattern so that you're able to write on it. So I'm going to do that and I'll be right back. Okay, so I have finished cutting all around the tag, and I punched out the holes so that I can see it and mimic it. Because later we're going to come back and add, you can add some twine or lace or something to it, but we're just going to add a piece of pattern paper cardstock to go in there. So that's going to sit for a second, and then we're going to play with the rosette. You want to count over 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 humps, and then cut it. Okay. Save this for later. And then we're actually going to follow along how the score marks guide you. So like that. Give it a good press. Okay, and take my envelope, and then I'm going to add my washi tape down the side here. Just a little bit. And then I'm going to add my accordion piece, and that's just going to span the width of the envelope as far as you want it to go. So if you want to kind of make it flatter, you can add some dimension to it. And then what you want to do is add hot glue on the peaks so that it'll stay. I'm going to add it like that. So all I did was just add hot glue on the peaks and then a little bit at the edges. And then I'm going to have the rosettes facing towards the right. And just gently press that down. Alright, and then you want to add a little bit of hot glue because we're going to paste this to here. So I'm going to add a little bit, 2 little dots on these peaks here, just a little bit. Keep them the same width and length because we want to hide it. We want to be able to hide it with this, see, with that. So just let that sit there and think. And then we're going to add the "For You" right there. Okay, I'm going to use my wet glue here, and I'm just going to apply it to the spots that are going to touch the heart. Put that right there. Alright, and then we will take our tag and insert that. And like I said, later we're going to come back and add, I cut mine by accident. Later we're going to come back and add a little piece. It's going to cover that little mark, but we're going to add a little piece to cover that up. And just make sure this goes down all the way. There we go. And we are done with tag number 4. Alright, we're back with tag number 5. We are almost halfway through our tags. We're going to use this polka dot envelope. One side has the polka dots, the other side has this pink. And then we're going to use this gold and, I don't know, pinky color tag. Okay. And then also this green shaped tag with the blue on the back. This gold banner, zigzag banner. The sentiment that says best day ever. This gold doily. Then you want to take like 10 seconds to poke out all the holes because they do come with the tag. And then I'm using a little piece of seam binding, and then you'll need your tiny attacher and a little bit of foam dots. Alright, we're going to start out putting our envelope together. That's going to have that pink color on the outside. I mean, you can see the pink color from the outside. So it's going to be the polka dots showing, but fold it so you can see that pink at the top. And then just go ahead and add some glue to the flaps. Glue, hot glue or wet glue, or whatever your choice is. Okay. Now that you have that together, set that aside for a second. Let's work on our tag. Okay, so we want to layer the tag, starting out with this one. We're going to layer all of these pieces together. So take this and then kind of lay that off center, just whatever way you want to lay it. This is going to be a really quick tag, but I love all of these layers. Alright, and then add this banner on top, then this gold piece. Alright, then take your seam binding, fold it up into a V, like that, and then your tiny attacher, or staple, and staple it twice. And grab your scissors and cut off the excess. Okay, take some foam dots, put it on that sentiment that says best day ever. Easy peasy. And then I'm going to take my hot glue and just to cover, put some hot glue in here just to cover this front. You don't want it to exceed past that because you won't be able to put a tag in if you've glued everything down. So I'm going to show you how mine's looking in a second here. So that's where I have my hot glue at the bottom. Just make sure it doesn't go past. Layer that on top. And then if you see that you have more, it's better safe than sorry. Just go ahead and add a little bit directly to the envelope. And then stick your hand in there and just press it. That way you know you don't adhere it to the back of the envelope. And then you have space to insert a tag. Isn't that super cute? Now if you want, you can add some, which is a great idea, add some dimension underneath this last piece, the tag itself. Add a little bit of that. Pop that up. That way it gives it a little bit more dimension on there. Alright. Easy peasy. That completes tag number 5.